Hey guys, Captain Keith here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to tell you how I got a pilot job during the global pandemic. "2020 was the start of the global pandemic. It felt like something that was over there, that the virus was not going to affect me in North America. I started my new job as a first officer for a major airline. After a few months of training, I had completed my type rating on the Boeing 767 for that major airline. And then, shortly after my training, I received an email from the company letting me know that I had now been laid off due to the reduced passenger demand of 2020. At first, I didn't think it was a big deal because I told myself that I'd been working hard for the last few years trying to build my hours to get to the major airline, and now I can finally relax. Plus, my wife and I were expecting our first child, so it really gave me some time to plan before the baby arrived. But after a few weeks, I started getting bored. My kind of personality is that I like to work. If I sit around for too long, then I start to annoy everyone around me.
Stop. You're going to take someone's eye out. Besides, you're saying it wrong. It's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
1 month went by, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. It felt like this whole coronavirus thing was taking way too long to recover. I don't know why in my head I thought this thing would be over in a matter of a few months, but I was dead wrong. Now, I didn't want to dip into my savings, so I started applying for various jobs, all the way from the banking industry where I had no experience in, all the way to manual labor jobs such as construction or delivery. My wife and I crafted my resume carefully. We spell checked my work. We put in references, and guess out of those 20 jobs that I'd applied for, how many called me back?
Zero. Nada.
Also, here in Canada, we have unemployment insurance, where for 10 months, the government will provide you a very small amount of $2,000 a month to help cover costs until you go back to work. Now, I was coming up on 10 months of unemployment insurance. I was also becoming a new dad, and I really needed an income source to come in. Out of desperation, I reached out to my network. I kind of had to swallow my pride and reach out to people and ask them for help. And guess what? Within a couple of days, I received 2 interviews. One was for an office dispatcher job, and the other one was for a pilot job. You can guess which one I accepted. Honestly, I got really lucky. A few weeks later, my daughter was born, and my unemployment insurance just got depleted. So I'm so grateful that I got this job. It's a job flying cargo instead of passengers. The amazing thing is that the job that I got flies the same airplane that I trained at the major. But the only difference is now I'd be flying cargo. Flying cargo is quite different than passenger airline flying. For one, you have no passengers, so you're not really waiting for anyone to show up. You don't have to hold a flight for connections. You don't have to deal with passengers complaining when there's a little bit of turbulence. So that's one of the nice things about flying cargo. Cargo doesn't complain. And the number 2 difference I noticed flying cargo is that all the shifts are at night. Now, that's the only downside to flying cargo, is that all the cargo flies at night. Why? Because in the morning, people want to receive their mail. So cargo airplanes fly quietly at night for you to receive your package in the morning. Funny enough, my cargo pilot job pays a lot more than my passenger flying job. It's one of those things I can't explain. Now you must be asking, Keith, what's the moral of the story? Well, the moral of the story is that your network is your net worth. In order to get those 2 interviews, I had to reach out to my network, to people that I hadn't spoken to in years, and explain to them where I had been in my career and what skills I can offer if they were to recommend me for a job. And one of those connections where I accepted the pilot job offer, I worked as a flight dispatcher way back in the day. At the time when I used to work as a flight dispatcher, I used to think, man, I'm really wasting my time. After all I want to do is to be a pilot and fly airplanes. So for those years that I was in the office, it was really a struggle, but I did it anyways because I needed the money to fund my flight training. But as Steve Jobs said, you can only connect the dots going backwards.
You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something, your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever. Because believing that the dots will connect down the road will give you the confidence to follow your heart, even when it leads you off the well-worn path. And that will make all the difference.
Because I worked as a flight dispatcher at my previous job, and I made friends in that company, I was able to leverage those connections to the future, where I was able to call on those connections to actually provide for me a job during the global pandemic. Now I get to support my new family with the income source from this job. I get to also fly really cool Boeing 757 and Boeing 767 aircraft all over the world. Recently I had been to Mexico, Germany. So if you want to get ahead in your career, here are a couple of tips. Number one, make friends at your current place of work. You never know where those connections might take you. Number two, this whole pandemic has taught me that there's no such thing as a staple job. I thought working for the major airlines would be my source of stability, but no, you constantly have to keep looking out for those new opportunities just in case the one that you had planned on does not pan out. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you find it useful. If you enjoyed this type of video, please subscribe below and turn on the notification bell, and I will see you soon. Take care.